Close your eyes for a moment and imagine that money is standing right in front of you, not as paper, not as numbers in a bank account, but as a presence. Now ask yourself honestly, how have you been speaking to it? Have you been saying, "You never stay. You're so hard to get. I can't keep you. You always leave me"? If money were a person, would it feel welcomed by you? Money responds to energy. It listens to your words. It feels your emotions. Money responds to your words in ways you may not always see, but you can always feel. Every time you speak about money, you are shaping your relationship with it. Words are not just sounds that disappear into the air. They carry emotion. They carry belief. They carry expectation. And money, being a form of energy, responds to the energy you attach to it. Think about the phrases you repeat every day. I never have enough. Money is so hard to earn. It always goes away. I can't afford that. These statements may seem harmless, but they are powerful instructions. When you speak like this, you are not just describing your situation. You are reinforcing it. You are telling money that it is unwelcome, unreliable, and difficult. Over time, these words settle into your subconscious mind and become beliefs. And beliefs quietly create patterns. Your mind listens to everything you say. It does not argue. It does not judge. It simply accepts and acts accordingly. If you constantly declare that money is scarce, your mind begins to look for proof of scarcity. If you say money is stressful, your body reacts with tension whenever finances are mentioned. If you say you are bad with money, your behavior aligns with that identity. You may overspend, avoid planning, or feel anxious about opportunities. Your words create a script, and your life follows it. But this works in your favor as well. When you gently change your language, you begin to change your experience. Instead of saying, "I never have enough," you can say, "I am learning to manage my money wisely." Instead of, "Money is hard to earn," you can say, "Money flows to me through many channels." Instead of, "I can't afford it," you can say, "I choose to prioritize what truly matters to me." These small shifts may feel subtle, but they carry a completely different energy. They move you from helplessness to empowerment. Money responds to confidence. When you speak about it with calm assurance, you create a sense of safety. Safety invites growth. Imagine talking about money the way you would speak to a trusted friend. You would not insult a friend and expect them to stay close. You would not constantly complain about them and expect a healthy connection. You would show respect. You would express appreciation. You would communicate clearly. The same principle applies here. Gratitude is especially powerful. When you say, "Thank you for what I have," you signal abundance rather than lack. Even if the amount seems small, appreciation expands it in your awareness. You begin to notice opportunities you once ignored. You handle what you have with greater care. You make decisions from a place of trust rather than panic. And that steady energy attracts more stability. It is also important to release harsh self-judgment. If you have made mistakes with money in the past, forgive yourself. Speaking kindly about money includes speaking kindly about yourself. When you say, "I am becoming responsible with money," you allow growth. When you say, "I am capable of increasing my income," you open the door to creativity. Encouraging words activate possibility. Critical words shut it down. Notice the emotional tone behind your speech. Words spoken with fear send a signal of danger. Words spoken with resentment push money away. Words spoken with guilt create inner conflict, but words spoken with trust and appreciation create harmony. Harmony allows flow. Flow allows expansion. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending challenges do not exist. It means choosing language that supports solutions instead of strengthening problems. You can acknowledge a temporary difficulty without declaring permanent defeat. You can say, "This is a moment of adjustment, and I am finding my way through it." That statement contains hope. Hope generates action. Action generates change. Your daily conversations matter. The comments you make casually, the jokes about being broke, the sighs when paying a bill, the silent worries before checking your balance. All of it communicates something. If you begin to replace those reactions with calm affirmations, your nervous system relaxes. A relaxed mind makes wiser decisions. Wise decisions build financial health. Over time, money responds to your words because your words shape your mindset, and your mindset shapes your behavior. When you speak abundance, you think abundantly. When you think abundantly, you act with clarity and confidence. And when you act with clarity and confidence, your external results begin to reflect that inner shift. Start gently, choose one empowering statement, and repeat it daily. Speak it when you wake up. Speak it when you spend. Speak it when you receive. Let your words become invitations rather than complaints. Over time, you will notice a change, not just in your finances, but in your sense of peace. Money is always listening through the filter of your beliefs. Speak to it with respect. Speak to it with gratitude. Speak to it with expectation of good, and watch how your relationship with it begins to transform from tension to trust, from struggle to flow. Your relationship with money is never just about numbers. It is a reflection of how you see yourself, how you value yourself, and what you believe you deserve. Money does not randomly choose who to stay with and who to leave. It mirrors the story you hold within about your own worth. From a young age, many people absorb quiet messages about value. Some are taught that they must struggle to earn anything meaningful. Others learn that wanting more is selfish. Some grow up hearing that wealthy people are greedy, or that having too much money makes you less spiritual, less kind, or less pure. These beliefs do not disappear as you grow older. They settle into the subconscious and quietly shape your financial behavior. If deep down you feel unworthy, you may push money away without realizing it. You might undercharge for your skills. You might avoid asking for a raise. You might feel uncomfortable receiving gifts or support. You might even sabotage opportunities just as they begin to expand. On the surface, it can look like bad luck or poor timing, but underneath, it is often a question of self-worth. When you believe you are valuable, you naturally expect fair compensation. You feel comfortable setting boundaries. You feel safe receiving. You understand that your time, energy, and talent have worth. This inner belief creates outer stability. You no longer chase money desperately, nor do you reject it unconsciously. You relate to it with calm confidence. Consider how you react when money enters your life. Do you feel gratitude and ease, or guilt and anxiety? Do you immediately worry it will disappear? Do you feel you must prove yourself to deserve it? These reactions reveal the emotional story behind your finances. Money simply amplifies what is already inside you. If you believe you are not good enough, you may accept less than you deserve. If you believe you are incapable, you may avoid learning how to manage money wisely. If you believe you are powerless, you may feel controlled by every bill and expense. In this way, money becomes a mirror, showing you where healing is needed. But the mirror is not there to judge you. It is there to guide you. When you choose to strengthen your self-worth, your relationship with money begins to shift naturally. You start by speaking kindly to yourself. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible with money," you say, "I am learning to handle money with confidence." Instead of, "I don't deserve more," you say, "I am worthy of prosperity and stability." These words may feel small, but they plant powerful seeds. Self-worth is not arrogance. It is not about believing you are better than anyone else. It is about recognizing that you are inherently valuable simply because you exist. When you truly understand this, you no longer feel guilty for wanting financial comfort. You no longer feel ashamed of ambition. You realize that abundance allows you to give, to support, to create, and to serve more fully. A healthy sense of worth also changes how you spend. You stop using money to prove your value through constant comparison. You stop buying things to fill emotional gaps. You begin making choices that honor your long-term well-being. You treat your finances with care because you believe you are worth stability and peace. Notice how you speak about successful people. If you secretly resent them or assume they are undeserving, you may be rejecting wealth itself. If you criticize abundance, you distance yourself from it. But when you celebrate others' success, you signal that you, too, are open to growth. Appreciation expands your sense of possibility. Building self-worth takes patience. It requires forgiveness for past mistakes. It requires releasing old family beliefs that no longer serve you. It requires courage to see yourself as capable and deserving. Yet every small step strengthens your financial foundation as your inner money responds to how you treat yourself. When you respect your time, money respects your boundaries. When you trust your abilities, money aligns with your actions. When you believe you are worthy of comfort and security, you create space for it to enter. You do not have to earn worthiness through exhaustion or sacrifice. You do not need to prove your value. Through struggle, you are already enough. As you begin to embody that truth, your financial life gradually reflects it. Your relationship with money will always echo your relationship with yourself. Strengthen the way you see your own value, and money will no longer feel like something outside of you to chase or fear. It will feel like a natural extension of your confidence, your clarity, and your self-respect. And from that place, abundance becomes not a distant dream, but a gentle reflection of who you believe you are. Gratitude is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life, because it changes not only what you see, but what you attract. When you are grateful, you move from focusing on what is missing to appreciating what is present. That single shift in awareness transforms your energy. And when your energy changes, your experience begins to change with it. Many people believe they will feel grateful after they receive more money, more success, more recognition, more security. But abundance does not respond to waiting. It responds to alignment. Gratitude is alignment with the feeling of already having enough. It tells your mind and your heart that you are safe, supported, and open. And from that openness, growth naturally happens. When you constantly think about what you lack, your attention stays fixed on limitation. Your mind searches for proof that you are behind, that others have more, that life is unfair. This creates tension and urgency. Decisions made from tension often reinforce scarcity. But gratitude softens that urgency. It reminds you that even now, there are things working in your favor. Gratitude does not mean ignoring your goals. It does not mean settling or pretending that challenges do not exist. It means recognizing that progress begins with appreciation. When you appreciate what you already have, you treat it with care, you manage your finances more thoughtfully, you nurture your relationships more intentionally, you protect your health more consciously. Appreciation deepens responsibility, and responsibility builds abundance. There is a quiet confidence that comes with gratitude. Instead of chasing desperately, you begin to trust. Instead of comparing constantly, you focus inward. You say, I am thankful for what is here, and I welcome more. That statement carries expectation without pressure. It carries faith without force. Gratitude also changes the way you feel about money. When you receive even a small amount and say, thank you, you amplify its value in your awareness. You stop dismissing small blessings. You stop overlooking everyday support. A refund, a discount, a gift, an opportunity, each one becomes evidence that life is responding to you. The more evidence you notice, the more confident you feel. Confidence leads to action. Action leads to growth. Emotion plays a powerful role in attraction. When you feel thankful, your body relaxes, your breathing slows, your thoughts become clearer. In that calm state, you are more creative and resourceful. You see possibilities where you once saw obstacles. You connect with people more openly. You communicate more effectively. Gratitude creates a mental environment where solutions can appear. There is also a spiritual dimension to appreciation. When you acknowledge what you have been given, you create a sense of partnership with life. You no longer feel alone or unsupported. You feel guided. You feel connected. This connection reduces fear. And when fear decreases, receptivity increases. Abundance flows more easily into a receptive heart than into a guarded one. Even in difficult moments, gratitude can coexist with growth. You can be thankful for lessons while still aiming for improvement. You can appreciate strength dev, elope through challenges, while still choosing ease moving forward. Gratitude transforms hardship into wisdom rather than resentment. A simple daily practice can shift everything. Each morning, identify a few things you genuinely appreciate. They do not have to be dramatic. A roof over your head, a meal on your table, a skill you possess, a supportive friend, a chance to try again. Speak your gratitude out loud if you can. Let your words carry emotion. Feel the warmth of acknowledgement. When you pay a bill, instead of focusing on the loss, appreciate the service it provided. When you invest in yourself, appreciate the growth it supports. When you save money, appreciate your discipline. Each act becomes an affirmation of abundance rather than a reminder of lack. Each gratitude builds momentum. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. And as it becomes natural, you begin to expect good things. Expectation shapes perception. Perception shapes experience. Soon, opportunities seem to appear more frequently. Support arrives at the right time. Ideas come with clarity. It may feel like coincidence, but it is often the result of a consistent internal shift. Abundance is not only about money, it is about peace, opportunity, creativity, connection, and joy. Gratitude opens the door to all of it. When you honor what is already in your life, you send a powerful message that you are ready for more. You do not attract abundance by demanding it. You attract it by appreciating what is present and trusting that life can expand from there. Gratitude is the foundation. From that foundation, everything else grows. Money is energy, not the enemy. It is not a force sent to test you, punish you, or control you. It is a neutral form of exchange that takes on the meaning you give it. Like electricity, it can illuminate a home or power a machine. Its effect depends on how it is directed. When you understand that money is simply energy in motion, your fear begins to soften. Energy is always moving. It flows toward openness and withdraws from resistance. If you treat money with hostility, guilt, or suspicion, you create resistance. You may not see it physically, but you feel it emotionally. You tense up when finances are discussed. You feel anxious when spending. You judge others for having more. These reactions build a wall, and energy does not flow easily through walls. Many people unknowingly view money as an adversary. They blame it for stress, conflict, or inequality. They say money ruins people, or money is the root of all problems. But money itself has no personality. It simply amplifies the intention of the person using it. In kind hands, it creates comfort, opportunity, and generosity. In fearful hands, it may be misused. The issue is not the energy. It is the consciousness guiding it. When you call money your enemy, you create an internal battle. You desire it for security and freedom, yet you resent it at the same time. This conflict sends mixed signals. You push and pull simultaneously. You may work hard to earn more, but feel uncomfortable when you receive it. You may dream of abundance, yet criticize wealth in others. This tension blocks flow. Seeing money as energy changes everything. Energy responds to clarity and intention. If you view money as a tool for good, you begin to feel aligned with it. You understand that having more allows you to support your family, invest in your growth, and contribute to causes you care about. You no longer feel guilty for wanting stability. You recognize that financial well-being can coexist with kindness and integrity. Energy also follows attention. Whatever you focus on expands in your awareness. If you constantly focus on lack, your mind becomes skilled at finding evidence of shortage. If you focus on possibility, your mind becomes creative. It begins to look for solutions, connections, and opportunities. Money as energy follows the direction of your focus through the actions you take. Think about circulation. Energy thrives when it moves. Money is meant to circulate, to be earned, spent, invested, saved, and shared. When you cling to it tightly out of fear, you restrict its movement. When you spend carelessly without intention, you scatter it. But when you manage it consciously, you create healthy circulation. You give and receive with balance. Your emotional state influences this circulation. If you pay a bill with resentment, you reinforce the idea of loss. If you pay it with appreciation for the service received, you shift into gratitude. That subtle change affects how you feel about earning and spending. A calm, appreciative mindset leads to wiser choices. Wise choices strengthen financial flow over time. Money is also energy connected to value. When you provide value through skills, creativity, service, or ideas, you generate exchange. If you underestimate your value, you may limit your income. If you recognize your worth, you feel comfortable asking for fair compensation. Energy flows more freely when there is confidence and clarity. It is important to release old stories that associate money with struggle. Many of us inherited beliefs that wealth requires sacrifice or suffering. But energy does not require pain to move. It requires alignment. When your goals, actions, and beliefs are aligned, financial growth feels more natural. Effort may still be involved, but it is purposeful rather than draining. Trust is another key element. When you trust that money is a supportive energy rather than a threat, your nervous system relaxes. You think more clearly. You plan more effectively. You are open to learning. Fear narrows perspective. But trust expands it, expands it, expands it, and invites opportunity. You can begin changing your relationship by speaking differently about money. Instead of saying, money is stressful, say, I am learning to manage money with ease. Instead of, there is never enough. These statements align your energy with possibility rather than resistance. If you treat it with respect, it responds with stability. If you approach it with gratitude, it feels supportive. If you guide it with intention, it becomes purposeful. Money is not here to fight you. It is here to serve as a channel of exchange and growth. When you stop viewing it as an enemy and start seeing it as energy, you step out of conflict and into partnership. And in that partnership, flow becomes natural, balanced, and empowering. Receiving should feel natural. It should feel as natural as breathing in. Yet for many people, receiving feels uncomfortable, heavy, or even undeserved. There is a quiet fear that comes with it, a subtle guilt, a belief that taking in more somehow makes you selfish, greedy, or unworthy. But when you carry fear and guilt around receiving, you block one of the most important flows in life. Life is built on cycles. There is giving and receiving. There is inhale and exhale. There is planting and harvesting. If you only give and never allow yourself to receive, you interrupt the balance. You exhaust yourself. You begin to feel depleted. And over time, you may even feel resentful without understanding why. Fear around receiving often comes from early conditioning. You may have been taught that you must struggle for everything, that nothing should come easily, that wanting more is wrong, that you should be satisfied with less. These ideas settle into your subconscious and create resistance. When something good arrives, money, opportunity, support, praise, instead of joy, you feel tension. You may downplay compliments. You may refuse help. You may hesitate to charge fairly for your work. You may feel guilty when your income increases. This guilt whispers, "Who do you think you are?" It tells you that you are taking more than your share. But abundance is not a limited resource reserved for a chosen few. There is no fixed portion assigned to you that you must not exceed. Fear also shows up as anxiety about loss. When you finally receive something you desire, you worry it will disappear. You feel you must protect it constantly. Instead of enjoying the blessing, you brace for its departure. This fear creates stress, and stress clouds judgment. It makes it harder to manage what you have. Wisely, fear and guilt begins with recognizing that you are inherently worthy. You do not have to earn the right to receive by suffering first. You do not have to shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Receiving does not make you selfish. It makes you balanced. When you receive with grace, you allow energy to circulate. Consider how you feel when you give someone a gift. You want them to accept it happily. You want them to accept it happily. You want them to feel pleased. If they refuse or apologize excessively, it diminishes the joy of giving. The same is true in reverse. When life offers you something, whether through a person, an opportunity, or unexpected income, accepting it with gratitude completes the cycle. You can begin practicing receiving in small ways. When someone compliments you, simply say, "Thank you." When someone offers assistance, allow them to support you. When you earn money, acknowledge it without guilt. Tell yourself, "I am grateful for this. I am worthy of this." These simple acts retrain your mind. It is also important to release comparison. Guilt often grows when you measure yourself against others. If you receive more than someone else, you may feel you do not deserve it. But each person walks a different path. Your blessings do not diminish another's potential. There is space for everyone to grow. Receiving with openness actually increases your capacity to give. When you are supported financially, emotionally, and spiritually, you have more energy to share. You can contribute generously without draining yourself. You can help others from overflow rather than obligation. Notice any discomfort that arises when you think about having more money, more success, more recognition. Sit with that feeling gently. Ask yourself what belief is underneath it. Is it fear of judgment, fear of responsibility, fear of change? Once you identify it, you can replace it with a new truth. It is safe for me to receive. I welcome abundance with ease. I handle prosperity wisely. As you release guilt, you free yourself from self-sabotage. You stop pushing opportunities away. You stop shrinking your dreams. You allow yourself to expand naturally. Expansion is not arrogance, it is growth. Life is always offering something: guidance, support, resources, connections. When you open your hands instead of closing them, you allow that flow to continue. You trust that you can receive and manage what comes. You trust that you can enjoy blessings without apology. Let receiving feel gentle. Let it feel deserved. Let it feel safe. You are not here only to give until you are empty. You are here to participate in a balanced exchange. Release the fear. Release the guilt. Open yourself to the steady, peaceful flow of receiving, and watch how naturally abundance begins to feel at home with you. Your words are not empty sounds. They are instructions. They are seeds. Every day, through casual comments and repeated thoughts, you are either planting prosperity or reinforcing limitation. To speak prosperity into existence daily is to consciously choose language that supports growth, stability, and abundance, instead of fear and doubt. Most people speak about money and success without awareness. They joke about being broke. They complain about expenses. They predict failure before trying. These words may seem harmless, but repetition turns them into beliefs. And beliefs quietly shape decisions. If you constantly declare that things are difficult, your mind begins to expect difficulty. If you repeatedly say that opportunities never come your way, you may overlook them when they appear. Speaking prosperity does not mean ignoring reality. It means choosing empowering interpretations. Instead of saying, "I'll never get ahead," you say, "I am building my path step by step." Instead of "money disappears as soon as I get it," you say, "I am learning to manage money wisely." These statements shift you from victimhood to responsibility. Responsibility creates power. The subconscious mind responds strongly to repetition. What you say daily becomes familiar. What is familiar feels true. If you repeat thoughts of lack, lack feels permanent. If you repeat thoughts of growth, growth begins to feel natural. That is why daily affirmation is powerful. It is not about magic. It is about mental conditioning. Prosperity begins internally before it shows externally. When you wake up in the morning, your first thoughts set the tone. If you immediately think about stress and shortage, your body reacts with tension. But if you begin with a statement like, "Today, I welcome new opportunities," your mind becomes alert to possibility. You move through the day with expectation instead of dread. Speaking prosperity also influences your emotional state. Words carry feeling. When you say, "I trust that things are working in my favor," you create calm. Calm thinking leads to better choices. Better choices lead to improved outcomes. In this way, your speech gradually transforms your results. Consistency matters more than intensity. You do not need dramatic declarations once a month. You need gentle, steady reinforcement every day. A few clear statements rep. Eated sincerely can reshape your inner dialogue. Say them while looking in the mirror. Say them during a walk. Say them before sleep. Let them sink into your awareness. It is important to align your words with belief. If a statement feels too far from your current reality, soften it. Instead of saying, "I am extremely wealthy," you might say, "I am moving toward financial stability." This feels achievable. As your confidence grows, your affirmations can grow with you. Prosperity builds layer by layer. Your environment also reflects your speech. When you talk about opportunity, people respond differently. When you speak confidently about your goals, you attract supportive conversations. When you express gratitude for what you have, others feel inspired rather than burdened by negativity. Your language shapes your relationships as well as your finances. There will be moments when challenges arise. Bills may increase. Plans may shift. During these times, it becomes even more important to guard your words. Instead of declaring defeat, say, "This is temporary, and I am capable of handling it." That statement preserves your sense of control. It keeps your mindset focused on solutions. Remember that speaking prosperity is not about denying hard work. It is about aligning effort with belief. When you believe progress is possible, you are more willing to act. You apply for the position. You start the project. You learn the new skill. Words create the internal climate where action thrives. You can create a daily ritual. Each morning, affirm 3 statements about abundance. Each evening, express gratitude for 3 financial blessings, no matter how small. Over time, your mind will begin to search for proof of these statements. You will notice savings growing, opportunities appearing, confidence strengthening. Prosperity is not only about money, it includes peace, creativity, health, and supportive relationships. Speak growth into every area. Say, "I am supported." Say, "I am capable." Say, "I am open to increase." Let these words become familiar companions. When you speak prosperity daily, you reshape your inner world, and your outer world gradually mirrors that shift. What once felt distant begins to feel attainable. What once felt uncertain begins to feel steady. Your voice becomes a tool of creation rather than complaint. Choose your words carefully. Repeat them consistently. Believe them gently. And watch how the simple act of speaking prosperity each day begins to transform not only your finances, but your confidence, clarity, and sense of possibility.